Hey guys, I'm Nisa Homey. Today I'm sharing a healthy millet dosa recipe made without rice or urad dal. This healthy little millet dosa is ideal to include in your weight loss journey. Grains like millets, when naturally fermented, are a good source of vitamin B12. This millet dosa can be enjoyed by those with PCOS, thyroid, diabetes, or by those who simply wants to eat healthy and include millets in their diet, especially when on a weight loss journey. So let's get started with the recipe. Into a bowl, I'm adding in 1 cup of sama rice. Little millet is a good source of antioxidants and it is completely gluten-free. It is low in glycemic index, hence ideal to include in diabetic diet. It's a good source of magnesium, vitamin B3, phosphorus, fiber, potassium, zinc, iron and calcium. Little millet is ideal to include in PCOS and thyroid diet. The high fiber helps to keep you feel fuller for a longer time. Hence, it's ideal to include in weight loss diet. Into this, I'm adding in 1 tablespoon fenugreek seeds, also known as methi seeds or uluva in Malayalam. Add in some water and allow this to soak for about 6 to 8 hours. It's always ideal to soak millets for a little longer than you would normally soak rice, as millets contains phytates which may cause nutrient absorption. Longer soaking will help with better digestion and better nutrient absorption. So I'm going to soak it for about 6 to 8 hours. Okay, now it's about 6 to 7 hours and the millet and the fenugreek seeds are nicely soaked. So I'm going to rinse it a couple of times and then I'm going to add it into my blender jar. Add the soaked millets and methi seeds into the blender jar. Into this I'm adding in 1 cup of water and I'm going to blend this until it becomes a dosa batter consistency. Note that I'm not adding salt when I'm grinding the batter. Pour the blended batter into a bowl and with my hand I'm mixing it really well. So what I'm doing is I'm squishing and squeezing the batter like this. So what this helps is it helps with easy fermentation. So you need to make sure that you're mixing it with your hand for at least 15 to 20 times before you allow it to ferment overnight. This really will help with easy fermentation. So try not to skip this. And now I'm going to cover it with a lid and allow it to ferment for about 10 to 12 hours. Remember that fermentation depends upon the place you are living in. If you're living in a cold place, it may take a little extra time to ferment, like maybe 10 to 14 hours. And if you're living in a tropical place like I am, then it takes around 8 to 10 hours to ferment. Also note that I'm not using a tight lid. You need little aeration for the wild yeast to help with the fermentation process. So do not use a tight lid. And the next day morning, the batter is nicely fermented. Remember, there is no urad dal, poha or cooked rice in this batter. I have not added salt while blending the batter, so I'm adding in pink Himalayan salt as needed. Since the batter is slightly thick, I'm adding in a couple of tablespoons of water to allow the batter to thin out into a dosa batter consistency. So add water accordingly. Now I'm going to give this a good mix. I added about 1/8 cup of water to bring it into a dosa batter consistency. You can see that the batter is neither too thick nor too thin, but is of pourable consistency. So this is the consistency you should be looking at. Now the best thing about this dosa batter is that you can store it in the refrigerator and it will stay good for a couple of days. Just like normal dosa batter, you can easily store it in the refrigerator. I'm heating my cast iron tawa and I'm lightly greasing it with wood pressed gingerly oil, also known as sesame oil. And once the tawa is heated, reduce the flame to the lowest and pour in 1 to 1.5 ladleful of the dosa batter and lightly spread it out. Drizzle in little bit of wood pressed groundnut oil, or you can use A2 desi ghee instead. Cover and allow it to get cooked. A couple of minutes later, open the lid. You can see the small holes on top of the dosa. This shows that fermentation has happened. Lightly flip it over Couple of seconds later, flip it over again and serve to a plate. So guys, do try this healthy millet dosa and let me know how it turned out. Thank you for watching, and until next time, take care. Bye bye.